Meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. We're going to start, as always, with our land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. So first off, adoption of agendas and minutes. The adoption of the meeting agenda for this evening, moved by Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. And adoption of the meeting minutes from May 16th, 2023. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Moores. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with at this meeting and meetings in the future. And visitors, presentations, and petitions. And first off this evening, we have a proclamation for National Indigenous Peoples Day. Whereas the Constitution of Canada recognizes the existing rights of the Indigenous peoples of Canada, whereas in the Constitution of Canada, Indigenous peoples of Canada include the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people of Canada, whereas June 21st is celebrated as National Indigenous Peoples Day in honor, recognition, and celebration of the valuable contributions made by the Indigenous peoples of Canada to Canadian society, and whereas many Indigenous peoples celebrate the summer solstice, which has important symbolism to their cultures. Therefore, I, Mayor Darren Bent of the town of Conception Bay South, proclaim June 21st, 2023 as National Indigenous Peoples Day and urge my fellow citizens to recognize the contributions of Indigenous people in our community. Okay, next up, we have some guests with us this evening, and these are guests from CUPE Local 3034. And they're here this evening because the town of Conception Bay South and CUPE 3034 have just recently reached a collective agreement that covers the next 4 years of business here for the town of Conception Bay South. And of course, we're always pleased when we can come to the conclusion of the negotiations. And of course, this time around, it was a 4-year deal. And I believe, I think it's no secret that the deal reached includes a 9% wage increase over that time period, which is pretty much in line with a number of agreements reached over the past couple of years. And with us this evening, we have, and I believe, newly elected president, Judy Bishop, Secretary Jean Greeley, Chief Shop Steward Stephanie Lear, and Shop Steward and former President Terry Lynn Cooper. And I would like the 4 of you to come on up here with me tonight, and we'll get a picture and just say a couple of words. Come on up. Look at that, mobile microphone. Okay, so I'm not sure, Maggie, did you want to get a picture here? Okay, perfect. Let's move my front here, cover my knee. Well, there's nothing to sign. We've already got all that signed. Thank you for coming out this evening, and it's fantastic to be able to have an agreement with you folks, and we truly appreciate all the work of 3034, the folks in all the different departments throughout the town. It's what makes us work, backbone of our town here, and we really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Between management and rate negotiating, it comes with fair contract.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of hard work on both sides of the table, and these things are never easy, but they're always good to finish. And we're glad we finished and providing stability for the residents of Conception Bay South, and stability, of course, for our working people of the town. So thank you for coming. Great to see you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And so we normally start off our meetings after the ceremonies, I guess, with new business, and the new business, we go around the table, and this evening we'll start with Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss, and you can update us on what's going on.
There's lots going on. This is a really, really busy month in Conception Bay South, and lots of recreational things. And first and foremost is the participation challenge, and we're all probably going to touch on that one way or another. But I just want to put it out there that this is a big month to be active in Conception Bay South. Whatever way you are active. If you're not already signed up for the app, please do so and get on there, because we could win some money. We could win up to $100,000 if we are #1 in Canada. So whatever gets you moving, every step counts. Whether you walk, you run, you swim, you go to the gym, your yard work counts, your housework counts even. So make sure you get it all in. And there's a lot of things going on. We had our cleanup day rally celebration at the stadium last Saturday afternoon. We didn't have the cleanup yet, but we had the rally, and I got lots of steps in on that. So, and of course, lots of steps with everything you do. So I just want to make sure that everybody, and I'm sure everyone here around the table is going to bring up their own little piece on the participation challenge. But I'd like to see Conception Bay South be #1. Right now, we're #1 in Newfoundland. And we have our own little team going here at council. And last I looked, Councillor Barrett is in the lead, but we're going to change that up. So we're a little bit competitive here in council. So we're having some fun with it. And we hope that everybody out there has some fun. I just want to mention something that I really enjoyed this past weekend. Sunday evening, we were invited up to the musically inclined musical theater performance. And the musically inclined group had a show they called the Telugu Soiree or Bust. And it was a delightful little show where this musical theater group, they did a performance. And the show was based on, there was a challenge out for the best group to headline soiree. They were going to have a youth group headline the soiree. So there were 3 groups that performed, and they were in a competition, and we had a mayor and we had a deputy mayor. I'm forgetting the young fella's name, Penny. The young fella Penny was the mayor. William Penny, right? Sorry. And Councillor Butler's grandson, Parker Butler, was the deputy mayor. And they did a great job. We really enjoyed it, and we really thanked them for the invitation. Myself and Mayor Bent were both there. And of course, Councillor Butler was there to see her grandson. And I just want to say one more thing. In 10 more days, the kids are going to be out of school. So there'll be kids everywhere. There'll be bikes, they'll be outside. And just remind everybody about being mindful of safety when the kids get out of school, and keep an eye out to the business around the community. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of items. Just to expand on what the Deputy Mayor was talking about, we do have a lot of events coming up to summer. I mean, I think June and July are packed solid, and we gave out some medals at the annual Manuel's Give Around the River on Sunday, and one person actually came up to us and said, can't believe the stuff that's been on the go in CBS so far this summer. And we got just to highlight, we got the Snowbirds Weekend coming up in I believe it was next weekend, the last weekend of June, and of course we got our annual soiree. So I'll leave it up to Councillor Moore to expand more on that. And just one other thing I wanted to bring up is that we've been receiving a lot of complaints regarding number 433 Conception Bay Highway, and I just want to let the public know that we are addressing the issue. Our staff is looking into further, and we hope we can come to a quick resolve. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. I had some notes with me and I left them home, so I have to stick to my phone. Just want to recognize some of our local residents who have been active on the national scene over the last couple of weeks. First of all, James Noftel, who has become a member of the under-18 Canadian national rugby team. He's the only player east of Montreal, and he's off to the Netherlands for Four Nations event this summer, and certainly want to wish him all the best. And obviously, a young man being part of the national program is a big deal in our community. Also, Your Worship, we had a group attend Skills Canada in Winnipeg, Manitoba back in May. The team put their skills to the test against the finest skilled trade and technology students and apprentices across Canada. Representing Newfoundland from Conception Bay South were the following. Sarah Tulk competed in graphic design and technology. Wayne Myrick competed in mechatronics at the post-secondary level. Leah Casey competed in job search. Nathan Andrews competed in steam fitter, pipe fitter at the post-secondary level. And Matthew Mokler competed in the precision machining post-secondary competition. Leah Casey won silver medal in her competition, as I said, which was job search at the secondary level, and certainly congratulate all of them, because they would have all had to win at the provincial level in order to move on to the national level in these activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, certainly my grandson was Deputy Mayor Butler, which kind of has a ring to it, doesn't it? And it was a great performance, but I also wanted to send some accolades to Musically Inclined. Back in May, their Avalon Voices choir traveled to the Music Fest in Niagara Falls. And this is something that was supposed to go back in before COVID. So they were obviously very excited and finally to get to travel and to do this. And they reaped the rewards as they won a silver award at the national level. So I just wanted to send out my congratulations to Musically Inclined, Carrie, and the whole group of Avalon Voices. I want to speak for a minute or so. I just wanted to send on behalf of myself and council our best wishes to Deputy Mayor Nicole Kiley from Mount Pearl. She was recently involved in a single vehicle accident and is on the road to recovery. So I just wanted to let her and her family know that we're thinking about her and wishing her all the best. Let me see. I do have a couple more things here. Oh, yes. We proclaimed June as Pride Month. So the mayor and I, on June 1st, proudly raised a Pride flag to show our support. And lastly, just to mention on the Senior Advisories Committee, I didn't want to do it later on, just a quick note, just to say that we are in the process of discussing celebrating Seniors Week in the fall, and we're looking at all kinds of wonderful, exciting things, and we will be announcing them further down the road. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to talk about a subject that I was spoke about in the Telegram over the weekend. I was recently interviewed by the Telegram concerning cell phone service in Conception Bay South. And as we all here probably know, it's a terrible service here in CBS, and there's drop calls all over the place, poor data. Cell service has deteriorated over the past several years, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And as I mentioned in the article, it all seems to be around cell towers in CBS and the infrastructure that needs to be improved in CBS in order to address the issue. And it's been an issue on community voice and on social media. So it is something that needs to be addressed. But as I stated in the Telegram, and there was someone submitted put on Community Voice or social media this weekend, we need to get information to providers. We need to make complaints to the providers and make sure that they hear loud and clear that we are having issues here. And as for like council, we will certainly do whatever we can to keep it top of mind of the providers, but it's the residents and the people who are using the service that need to complain to their service providers. And the more that we do that, the more that is going to raise flags with them, because these companies are driven by data and what they received in complaints and everything like that. And in order to get it to get us there where we got to be, we need to make sure that people are sending in their complaints and calling all service providers, just not the larger ones, all their service providers, because everyone will be passed along to whoever is providing the service. So that's it for me. I just wanted to highlight that again, and hopefully we get everybody calling or submitting complaints somehow.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Yes, and I read the article today, and I thought it was you spoke very well about the issue. I mean, it's kind of ironic that in some cases, depending on who it is I'm calling, I will use FaceTime audio through Wi-Fi through the main service provider with my cell phone, which I'm also paying for. So I can't use my cell phone service. I got to go through my Wi-Fi service to get a better connection, to somebody that's not even that far away from me. But the dropouts are incredible. And most people, when they get away from their Wi-Fi, depending on where they are in the town, you can go quite a distance before you get a stable connection. So thank you for doing that. And we'll keep up that fight. And I understand that we'll be seeking a meeting with Bell again sometime soon to get that back on the table and up front again. That, they may have felt that some of the reactions that they've given has been satisfactory. I think the answer around this table is that no, they have not been satisfactory. So we'll continue that, and thank you for that. Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Ben. I will say in our house, we've discovered that there's only one spot in our house that cell phones work. So whenever someone calls our cell phone, we all go to the one spot and try and talk. And if we move to the left or right, it goes just like that. So it's definitely an issue. I just wanted to touch on what Deputy Mayor Goss mentioned about the Community Challenge rally we had this past Saturday at the CBS Arena. We are currently in first place in Newfoundland and 17th in Canada. So obviously we want to keep that up because we all know we are the most active community in our province. It's very easy to participate. You download the app and you enter your steps, or you can sync your watch if that's more convenient for you. So I encourage everyone, if they haven't already, to please download the app and get active. We have until the end of June, and I know we're going to do it this year. I have a lot of faith. We also have another event this Saturday. The town will be celebrating Pride Month with the Out in the Park event. This event will leave from the town hall at 2 p.m. and proudly march to the community park, where there'll be activities including face painting, tie-dye, snacks, and a drag performance by Barbara Bardot and Ophelia Delight. This is an all ages event, so come out to the park and show your pride and support. A shuttle bus will be available until 4 o'clock to bring you back to the town hall. And one other thing I want to touch on is the Kelligrew Soiree. So that's happening from July 8th to the 14th, and we will have a full week of great events for all ages and abilities. A full schedule will be available in the coming days on the town's website. A tradition, the Kelligrew Soiree Garden Party concert will be happening on July 8th at Ned Nugent's Field. And we're very excited this year to have a lineup that will feature the Navigators with performances by the Masters Men, Irish Descendants, and an after party with Bick and the Ballpoints. Tickets will go on sale Thursday, June 5th at 12 noon and at kelligrewsoiree.eventbrite.ca. Early bird tickets will be $35 plus HST and surcharge. Full details can be found on our website. One other, I wanted to, this, as you all know, and this, I may be a little biased in this one, but it's graduation season. So I know Holy Spirit is celebrating their graduation on Thursday, and QE, I think this week or next week. I don't think they've had theirs yet. Thursday too? Yeah, they're both Thursday. Okay, so I just want to send out a big congratulations to all those students and graduates about accomplishing their grade 12 graduation and whatever they have in store for the future. And like Councillor Butler mentioned, I just want to send a little shout out to Deputy Nicole Kiley. She's a friend of mine, and I just have been thinking about her nonstop and hope that she has a full recovery, and sending lots of positive vibes to her and her family. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Morris, would you be biased because there's a Paige Morris involved in this graduation this year? Well, congratulations. There you go. Melissa Hardy, Ward 4.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of things. Just want to do a big shout out to all the recreation staff. This past weekend, we had the community appreciation celebration from 12:30 to 2:30. It was another big hit for the community. Lots of bouncy castles, barbecue, music. From what I could tell, all the kids and friends and family, everyone was really enjoying their time. So another great event put off by the folks. And hoping now this weekend we're able to do the 3-hour community challenge. So fingers crossed, stay tuned to social media. So hopefully the weather permits, because I'm like everyone else. I think everyone else is done with January. That's the new month, January. Last thing, I'd just like to echo Deputy Mayor on the safety in the school areas. The kids are going to be extremely excited getting out of school now next week, and some kids sooner than others. So just be mindful in a lot of the school zones, and they're going to be darting in and out. So if you ever see, you know, a ball or a frisbee or something going across the road, just be mindful there's a kid coming very quick behind it trying to catch it. So next few weeks, just be extra vigilant on the roads. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. A couple things this evening. First, I want to say congratulations to a couple different groups today. First of all, a couple weeks ago, Mayor Bent, Councillor Hillier, and I, and some of our staff were at the grand opening of Coastal Tire Recycling, and it was really full circle for us. You know, as this is the first term for myself, and it was one of the bigger files that hit the planning desk, and very happy to see within a year of our initial planning file, they literally had the building set up, they had their grand opening and all that stuff. And so very exciting to be a part of that, and congratulations to everybody that made that reality. And I think it's a huge asset for our community. Second series of congratulations go to all of those that participated in this year's Give Around the River. The wet and rainy weather didn't deter, I'd say 200 plus folks, walkers, runners. They gave it their all for the 3K or 5K. And the cherry on top was at the finish line, you were greeted by a very cold and wet, albeit amped up council giving medals and a dancing Councillor Tilly, who I understand is interested in showcasing more of his dancing abilities in the near term. So we'll see. But if you missed that, fret not. There's always next year. We'll be there. Councillor Tilly will be dancing. All good. So on a more serious matter, though, I did want to bring up, I was frankly shocked to see a couple of weeks ago a video on social media, people using dirt bikes on Chamberlain's Park. Chamberlain's Park used a dirt bike. Honestly, anyways, I was shocked, and residents captured them on camera and provided it to the RNC, and fines were laid. And it's also under extra patrol of our enforcement. And so you know, common sense would say don't use dirt bikes in Chamberlain's Park, but apparently some people are lacking that. So either way, the charges were made, and certainly encourage folks to keep that in mind moving forward, whether it's in Chamberlain's Park or other trails in our community. So that's it for me. Thanks, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Just a few things for me. First of all, I want to offer congratulations to Jennifer's Quilt Shop. A few of us were down to the grand opening of that in Chamberlain's a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. It's been a while since the last meeting, but that was a great day there. And of course, it opens up a store that offers something a little different here in Conception Bay South, but something that is a big business and a big craft, I guess, that's reemerged, I suppose, in the province for a lot of people, and quilting and so forth. So it was great to be down there to help her open the shop in Topsail. Also, a couple of weeks ago, I was very pleased to be a guest on behalf of the town at the Worsley Park 50 Plus group. Held their 39th anniversary. They've been on the go for 39 years and offering services to seniors, and it was great to be down there and celebrate with them. Just going down my list, Councillor Barrett touched on it, but Coastal Tire Recycling and the MMSB in partnership and setting up the tire recycling facility here in Conception Bay South, a great addition to our business community. And of course, a great contribution to the environment in our province to finally get a tire recycling facility, and such a great group running it. You know, you go up there, you wouldn't know what's going on there. The machinery is inside, and the tires are contained in ports outside, and I think they're shredding, if I remember correctly, 700 tires an hour up there. And that's a lot of shredding, and they've got two machines going. So it's great to have that business and to welcome them to the community. And it was great to have the MMSB there, and of course representatives from the province to help us kick that business off. Also, I guess it was last Friday morning, I joined members of staff, I suppose, of Newfoundland Power at the Newfoundland Power EnviroFest. They held at Admirals Academy Elementary here in CBS, and that's where Newfoundland Power volunteers and spends money and comes in and does up an area of the schoolyard with trees and shrubs and so forth. And their EnviroFest this year planted fruit trees, apple, plum, and so forth, gooseberry bushes and all of that. And the students of Admirals Academy joined them along with some of the staff, and Principal Barrington come out, and it was a great event, a lot of work, a lot of holes dug, and a lot of planting going on. And they were there from early in the morning right up until about mid-afternoon finishing up. So if you're down in that area and you have anybody at Admirals Academy, when you go around to the east side of the school, you'll notice this new area down there, which is fantastic. And it allows the students there to continue the work that they've been doing, learning about agriculture and growing and so forth. And I understood from one of the grade 4 classes, they have hydroponics set up in their classroom and learning about doing that, for a great addition to food security and educating our young people on agriculture and what they can accomplish themselves. Also, I just want to note that I was a guest at this year's annual, I guess, kickoff to the season for the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club at their Sail Pass event, along with their honors, Lieutenant Governor and Mr. Foote, and as well the representatives from MHA Petton was there, and of course I want to thank the club for inviting us down to that event. It was a nice afternoon and evening. And on Saturday, I stopped off at Frank Roberts Junior High. Now, it's the second time I'd stopped off at Frank Roberts Junior High in a couple of weeks. The first time was to show support for the call for a review of Frank Roberts Junior High, and which hopefully will at some point lead to a replacement of that school. But this time I was down there for the student business fair, and the business fair was really nice because the young people had made the things that they were selling. So they were learning how to, I guess, on the manufacturing end and then on the retail end on the other side. And they had some great crafts and pictures and baked goods and so forth, and they were selling around the gym. So that was a nice event for them because they get to learn, I guess, business from square one to the end where you put a little bit of money in your pocket. I don't know if much was made, but it was certainly really impressive, some of the things that I saw down there on Saturday. And then after that, I joined Councillor Moores and a number of other councillors at the kickoff to the late kickoff to the community challenge. We're 13 days in and we're still number one. We've only got 17 days left and we're 17th in the country. Be nice to jump up another 16 spots because I believe number one in the country pays what? 100 grand. 100 grand would be a nice upgrade somewhere around town. So hopefully we'll get moving, get on the app and get that done. Also, I want to a shout out to Musically Inclined. It was nice to see them again. They, of course, if you remember, if you're an avid watcher, they were here at Christmas time with one of their choirs performing for us. Well, they did Kelly Soar Bust, like the deputy mayor noted. And I have to say that the deputy mayor part played by young Parker Butler was fantastic and reminded me a lot of the work that our own deputy mayor does. Except for this deputy mayor would bring coffee for the mayor. I don't get that, but anyway, they did such a great job. Mayor Penny and Deputy Mayor Butler and the three choirs and groups that acted out the play, and it was written by Kerry Ko and Andy, and I'm really pleased that they highlighted our 50th anniversary. They highlighted our Kelligrew Soiree and their year-end event down there, so it was really nice. And congratulations to all the young people who performed that day. It was really nice. I also want to echo what a couple of councillors have noted, and I know all of us are thinking, and sending out all of our best to Nicole Kiley, Deputy Mayor of Mount Pearl, and we reached out to Mayor Aker in Mount Pearl I think probably the next day, you know, because it didn't take long for this terrible incident to spread through the council circle, I guess. And most all of us had heard fairly early on that she was involved in this terrible, terrible thing that has caused her so much pain and trouble over the past couple of weeks since it's happened. And we offered, you know, our support and anything that we could do to help with this. And, you know, I think that showing as much support as possible for Deputy Mayor Kiley and supporting her, whether it's financially through, I think got a GoFundMe page and or whether it's best wishes, I think brings her along, because any of us that know Deputy Mayor Kiley know that she is like the ultimate positive person, and she is an absolute energy and commitment to community. And it'll be great, I think, when all of us see her back in the job again, back in her rightful place in the chamber and back to work. And we wish her all the best. Just want to take a moment before I finish up, just to mention I did an interview with the local paper last Wednesday. I was sat in my car across from Frog Pond, being interviewed by the Shoreline regarding the situation there. And of course, our staff here, our engineering staff, have been monitoring Frog Pond since issues arose last fall. And of course, throughout December, January, February, March, April, May, things were fine at Frog Pond. But for some reason, and it's not something we know the answer to, the Frog Pond has dropped significantly over probably a 4 or 5 day period, the beginning of June. And we are still monitoring that, and we are monitoring it with an eye to understand, to try to understand what the factors are that may have contributed to that. And we'll continue to monitor it and see if there's any action required. And we will rely on the expertise of the engineering department, and we will go forward as needed with that. But, you know, Frog Pond was basically empty last fall. It's not empty now, but it's certainly dropped off quite a bit. And that's a concern for local residents. And quite frankly, it's a concern for council. And we want to make sure that we're doing all the right things. So we're going to keep a close eye to that, to see what's happening there, and to see what explanations can be found possibly regarding that. So I think I've talked long enough for tonight, and it's time to turn it over, as always, for the very short and quick planning department and Chair Councillor Hillier. I think you have a couple of things there on your agenda this evening, so you can talk for the next 10 or 15 minutes. How's that?
Thank you, Worship. Yes, we've got an agenda this evening. We've got, this has been a busy time at planning and development. Of course, it's the building season. It's spring, people getting ready for the summer. And it's busy enough to the point we, our committee, and I thank Deputy Mayor and Councillor Hardy for over the last month. We had to meet 3 times to get through the items that were brought forward, so we'd be ready for this evening. So we've got 21 agenda items to bring forward tonight. So we'll start and work our way through. First one, 6A 215 Anchorage Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority of Section 15 of the town's fence regulations, application number 2819 received May 19th, 2023 for a front yard fence at 215 Anchorage Road be approved to a maximum height of 1.8 meters between the front building line of the subject property and the front building line of the adjacent property at 217 Anchorage Road, and a maximum height of 1.2 meters from the front building line of 217 Anchorage Road to the front boundary line. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
6C, 34 Greeley Town. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority of Section 15 of the town's fence regulations, application number 2780 received May 12th, 2023 for a front yard fence along an adjoining driveway at 34 Greeley Town Road be approved to a maximum height of 0.6 meters. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Moores, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6C. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority of section 15 of the town's fence regulations, application number 2798 received May 15th, 2023 for a front yard fence at 1250 Conception Bay Highway be approved to a maximum height of 1 meter between the front building line and the front boundary line, subject to approval from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, that one is brought, included the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, obviously, because we're along Route 60, where they have jurisdiction. And Your Worship, those are 3 fence recommendations. Obviously, we don't see all defense applications that come through. These are 3 that the resident was looking for something a little bit outside of our regulations that we took the time to deal with. Number 60, 21 Barnes Lane. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.32 of the town's development regulations, application number 2783 received on May 15th, 2023 for a proposed 111.5 square meter accessory building at 21 Barnes Lane be refused in consideration that the cumulative lot coverage of all accessory buildings would exceed the maximum permitted lot coverage of 181.8 square meters. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, we come up with that 181.8 square meters, as that's the square meterage of the residential home, and accessory buildings are not to exceed, total number of accessory buildings are not to exceed the total square footage of, or the square meterage of that of the residence.
Well, hopefully the resident and planning can work to solve that issue and move forward. Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6E, 40 Dowdens Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority of section 5.33 and 5.3.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 2499 received January 26, 2023 for an accessory building with 100 square meters lot coverage at 40 Dowdens Road be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion?
Down, Your Worship. We know that in working through this process that some of the local residents had some concerns about commercial activities taking place at this particular site. We've been assured that this building will not be used for any commercial activity.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6F, 10 Atkins Road. Be it so resolved that application number 2788 received on May 12th, 2023 for a swimming pool at 10 Atkins Road be approved on condition that no portion of the pool deck, or security fencing extend forward of the front building line established by the dwelling on the property. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilly, discussion? I hope it's a heated pool.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6G, 17 Atkins Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority at section 3.12 and 5.32 of the town's development regulations, application number 1353 received on March 22nd, 2022 for 117.1 square meter accessory building at 17 Atkins Road be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Keep shutting down, your worship. You're not at that up there by any chance, are you? Okay, let's try this over again. Time, time limit. I will, Okay, 78 Ewings Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority at section 5.31 and 3.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 2651 received April 13, 2023 for a 48.3 square meter accessory building garage at 78 Ewings Road, be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6J, 6 Sandstone Street. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 10.10 and 3.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 2775 received on May 11th, 2023, requesting a variance for the reduction of the required building line setback from 10 meters to 9 meters in order to accommodate the development of a single dwelling at 6 Sandstone Street, be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6J, 42 Paddy's Arm Road. Be it so resolved that the terms of reference for a land use impact assessment report regarding application number 2630 received on April 3rd, 2023 for a proposed extension to an existing single dwelling located at 42 Paddy's Arm Road be approved as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion.
Your worship, 42 Paddy's Arm Road is located, or portions of it are located in a moderate hazard area. As a result of the low-lying land, there's risk of flooding. So in that case, we require a land use impact assessment report for any development in that area. So what we're doing this evening is really approving the terms of reference for that land use assessment impact, that land use impact assessment, and that'll be forwarded to the resident, and that'll be a report that will come forward at a later date.
And requirements as to what we need to move forward. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6K, 13 to 15 Morgansville Road. Be it so resolved that the terms of reference for a land use impact assessment report regarding application number 2636 received on April 6, 2023 for a proposed single dwelling at 1315 Morgansville Place be approved as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, your worship, this is pretty much the same situation as the previous motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, before you get to the next item, 786 Conception Bay Highway, I have to declare a conflict of interest as I have a family member who resides near that area.
I also have to declare conflict as I have a family member that lives close to that area.
Popular area.
It is.
Okay.
So we're 6I, 76 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that the terms of reference for a land use impact assessment report regarding the proposed redevelopment of a single dwelling at 786 Conception Bay Highway be approved as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Six M, 160 to 180 Spruce Hill Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.10 of the town's development regulations, application number 2559 dated March 3rd, 2023 to develop a residential subdivision with approximately 24 lots at 160 to 180 Spruce Hill Road be approved in principle. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretion at section 7.85 of the town's development regulations, land within the riparian area of Fowler's Brook be conveyed to the town in consideration of land for public open space associated with the proposed residential subdivision at 160 to 180 Spruce Hill Road. And further, be it so resolved that hybrid front yard wired utility system with aerial distribution and underground service lines be approved for the subdivision. So moved.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion. Just on this note, I know that we've had some residents reach out to us, and I know that planning has, I think, responded to most of them. And one of the concerns, of course, is traffic in the area. And when you're adding more houses, you're adding more cars. So I think when it comes to Spruce Hill Road, it's something that we want to keep an eye on with regards to traffic and so forth, because along parts of Spruce Hill, the ditches are not filled in and it's narrows that way. So I think that it's something that council needs to keep on its radar for upgrades in the incoming projects in that area. It's great to have houses in this fantastic residential area, but it's also, I think, incumbent on us to keep an eye on the infrastructure to support the houses that are going there. We have a growing subdivision as well up on Buckingham that services out of that area. But anyway, any further comment on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6N, Duns Hill Road. Be it so resolved that subject to agreement by the Minister of Municipal and Provincial Affairs and payment of processing fee and deposit, town initiate stakeholder consultation on proposed amendments to the St. John's Urban Regional Plan, the Conception Bay South Municipal Plan, and the Conception Bay South Development Regulations regarding proposed rezoning of approximately 14.6 hectares of land west of Jimmy Drive and Dennis Road to accommodate future phases of the Duns Hill Road subdivision. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, as it says, this is the Duns Hill Road subdivision. Phase 1 is pretty much completed at Jimmy Drive and Dennis Road. And this is an expansion of that, but there are some properties there that need to be, some areas there that need to be rezoned in order for it to move ahead.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6.0, 41 to 83 and 40 to 64 Boggins Lane. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.10 of the town's development regulations, application number 2019 to 144 received on August 21st, 2019 to develop a residential subdivision with approximately 7 lots at the end of Boggins Lane be approved in principle. And further, be it so resolved that hybrid front yard wired utility system with aerial distribution and underground service lines be approved for the subdivision. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with the council's discretion at section 7.85 of the town's development regulations, land within the riparian area of the adjacent waterway, together with an access from Boggins Lane, be conveyed to the town in consideration of land for public open space associated with the proposed residential subdivision. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion. This is one of those projects, Councillor Hillier, that's been on the plate of council for many years and finally came to an application, I guess 4 or 5 years ago.
Correct.
And
Yep.
now we're here finally getting to the stage where the landowners can develop that piece of land at the top of Boggins. And it's good to be able to move forward on this. I know they had some great ideas, and to know that it's 7 lots in a large area like that is certainly appropriate given the landscape up in top of Boggins Lake.
Yeah, and these lots, I believe 4 of them will be residential 1 low density lots, and then there are 3 that will be estate size lots.
Yeah.
Up in the back. So
Bigger
it's
lots,
Going to be a
yeah.
nice development.
It's a big area, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6P, Hopewell Garden subdivision. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 4.10 of the town's development regulations, application number 2532 dated February 20, 2023, to develop a residential subdivision with approximately 50 lots at 1287, 1293, and 1297 to 1315 Conception Bay Highway be approved in principle. And further be it so resolved that hybrid front yard wired utility system with aerial distribution and underground service lines be approved for the subdivision. And further, be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretion at section 7.85 of the town's development regulation, land within the riparian area of a waterway within the development be conveyed to the town in consideration of land for public open space associated with the proposed residential subdivision. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion.
Your worship, this is an intriguing one in that it crosses two zoning zoning boundary, and that we've got some as R1, some as R2. So it's going to be an interesting combination of housing types and so on in that development. Your worship, last.
Oh, can I jump in there for a second?
You jump in there, my darling.
Thank you.
Yes.
This particular area too, we've had a lot of residents in the vicinity that have raised concerns with water runoff, to the point we did have a public consultation with the independent commissioner. So it's really important that the net zero runoff is built into the engineering designs, because there is a lot of concerns from the residents in the area. Thank you.
Yes, your worship, obviously that's part of the conditions. This is an approval in principle. That'll all be settled out in the engineering design and so on. Your worship, these last four, we haven't voted on these yet, have we? Okay, these last four recommendations have all been for different subdivisions, and I talked about this time of the year being busy and so on. We've counted over the last month or so application for something like 250 new lots in different subdivisions in varying parts of the town. So it's nice to see that kind of development continuing.
Yep, lots of people choosing to live in Conception Bay South. It's good to see. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6Q, ATV bypass trail. Be it so resolved that the town initiate public and stakeholder consultation for amendments to the municipal plan and development regulations to add transportation uses as permitted use to the open space conservation, rural and regional center land use zones for the town's proposed ATV trail. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Connors, discussion.
Yes, your worship, as you're aware, and I'm sure Councillor Connors will speak to it in a little bit more detail. He and his committee have been doing a lot of work towards this new ATV trail. The part of the path of it passes through zones, open space conservation, rural and regional center. And in the regulations for those, we don't have regulations for transportation associated activities. So really all we're saying is that we're going to work our way through a process whereby we will add that to our regulations.
Yeah, I'd like to make just a few comments. This recommendation is, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the ATV users in the town that are going to be happy to see this moving forward, to rezone and update the development regulations to include the use of ATVs for the proposed trail. I think that it's going to be well received. Some people say a long time coming. And as we know, the Crown Land application was made back last year in 2022. And as Councillor Hillier just mentioned, it's working its way through the system. And but I guess, unfortunately, some of the land is in open space conservation, rural and regional center, I think is so we need to get that rezoned so we can get the trail going through. So, but feedback has been positive. With the Crown Land application, and this is another step in our commitment to develop an ATV trail for the residents of CBS that they've been asking for so long. And it will be done over the next couple of months or I think probably 4 to 5 months that this rezoning will be done, and there will be a public consultation part of it if for it. And I think this is really positive to be able to bring forward this recommendation here tonight, and I thank council for doing it.
Yes, and just, you know, it's one of those things that takes a lot of time and a lot of preparation, and I's got to be dotted and T's crossed. And, you know, I ask the users to be patient, you know, and I know that the group that you work with, you know, they understand what has to go into these sorts of things, but we'll get to the finish line on this one. And I want to thank you for the work that you and the committee have been doing. And also, the other thing too, is that there's a lot of things, a lot of initiatives that you're talking about with regards to ATVs that we're working on that we can't say publicly just yet, but it's all positive stuff. And I just want people to know that, you know, this council understands some of the concerns that we are hearing regarding ATVs, and we're working towards becoming more ATV friendly and giving ATV users options like this one. And I hopefully it'll happen sooner rather than later, but it does take time. There are processes, other agencies, and even in this case, another municipality involved. So we'll have to work through all those processes as well.
And just so people know, this is the trail that will go from the staging area in Seal Cove to Legion Road.
Yeah, bring you right around the loop. So it's get you to the back area. Okay, any other comments?
Yeah, just quickly, I mean, given my remarks earlier, there's a clear need for this. So I say, get the bikes out of Chamberlain's Park and put them on the trail, and then we'll all be happy.
And just to make one comment on that, that's where I make the distinction between responsible ATV users and irresponsible ATV users. The guy going around Chamberlain's Park is an irresponsible, but don't represent 95% or 99% of the ATV users out there.
Okay, you guys can duke that out later. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6R, 118 Redbridge Road. Be it so resolved that under the authority of section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment number 28, 2023, and Development Regulations Amendments number 47, 2023 be adopted. And further, be it so resolved that under authority of section 19 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Marie Ryan be appointed as commissioner to hold a public hearing and complete a report respecting municipal plan amendment number 28, 2023, and Development Regulations Amendment number 47, 2023. And further, be it so resolved that a public hearing regarding Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment number 28, 2023, and Development Regulations Amendment number 47, 2023 be held at 7 p.m. on July 12, 2023 at the Town Hall. And that should the town receive no written submission up to 2 days before the scheduled date, the public hearing will be cancelled. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Barrett, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is a rezoning we've been working through at 118 Redbridge Road, and we're to a point now where we're ready to bring in a third-party commissioner to hold a public hearing, and that would be in the person of Ms. Marie Ryan. We have set a date for July 12th, 2023, here in the Town Hall to hold that public meeting. And if there are no written submissions within 2 days of that date, we'll be in a position where we will not have to go ahead with that public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6S, 135, 137 Seal Cove Road, and 717 April's Lane. Be it so resolved that under the authority of section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town Council of Conception Bay South approve Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment number 27, 2023, and Development Regulations Amendment number 46, 2023 as adopted. So moved.
Seconder. Councilor Connors, discussion.
Your Worship, this is a rezoning that we've been working through again for some time. Rezoning from R1 low density to R2 medium density of a property in Seal Cove. We're now ready to accept that municipal plan amendment, and I'm sure the developers will be glad to start putting their shovels in the ground and going to work in Seal Cove.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And 6T, 240 to 258 Anchorage Road. Be it so resolved that the report and recommendation of Commissioner Jepchek respecting municipal plan amendment number 23, 2023 and development regulations amendment number 41, 2023 be accepted as presented. Be it so resolved that under the authority of section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town of Conception Bay South approve Conception Bay South municipal plan amendment number 2023, number 23, 2023. I think they're just putting these numbers in there this late in the evening to mix me up. Number 23, 2023 and development regulations amendment number 41, 2023. So move.
Seconder? Councilor Barrett, discussion.
Again, your worship, this is another rezoning process that's coming to an end. We did hold a public hearing with Mr. Jepchek on this one at our last public meeting. We tabled that report. Committee has had a look at the report. Committee has had a look at the results of meetings with residents. Committee has had a look at written submissions that have come in on this. And we're in a position now to recommend that we go forward and approve these amendments.
Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And finally, your worship.
I think you would have came up with another 5 to make this document.
These are the ones, many of the ones that we dealt with that didn't require recommendations coming forward tonight. So be it so resolved that decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on May 24th, June 1st, and June 5th, 2023 be accepted as presented. And the topics that were discussed are listed below. And as you can see, there are many more there than we had to bring forward recommendations tonight. So it's been a busy month of May and June for that committee. And again, I thank them for their attendance and the hard work that they've done. So, your worship, we bring this forward.
Okay.
So move.
Thank you. Seconder, Councilor Hardy. Any further discussion on any of this? No. Just
One
no-
last thing is not a single application for a hobby farm. What a shock. But
Yeah.
anyways.
And we're taking the rest of summer off.
We got them all approved. They're gonna apply after the fences go up. Yeah, no wonder it took you 3 meetings. But anyway, thank you. All in favor of committee.
Aye.
Contrary minded, carried. Thank you. Okay. Where are we now? Recommendations of Engineering and Public Works Committee Chair, Councilor Melissa Hardy.
Thank you, your worship. I know I won't be as long as Councillor Hillier, so I'll just need 2 or 3 minutes of your time.
It's just good to hear a different voice.
Just a couple of reminders going out to residents. We have the curbside yard waste collection. That's available for all the residents in the month of June. So you can place all your grass clippings, small branches, leaves, paper in a compostable bag and put by the curb for your recycling day for collection. It helps keep, all the stuff we can compost out of the waste fill and eventually helps us in lowering the town waste and tonnage costs. So a lot more details are located on the town's website and our social media. Traffic disruption along Middles Road continues. So a reminder for motorists and traffic that there is going to be disruptions in the area. And, if you can find an alternate route where you can, certainly encourage everyone to take that where you could. And road markings are ongoing. Staff continue to repaint the road markings as the weather allows, which I know they're probably struggling with. We do have a lot of rain drizzle and fog lately, but the school zones are completed and work will continue at all intersections. So certainly use caution when you're entering the work zones and obey all the signage. All right, so just a couple of recommendations to bring forward this evening. 7A, approval for the wastewater sewer upgrades for transmission main. Be it so resolved that approval is given to proceed with tender for water and sewer upgrades for the transmission main replacement. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Morris, discussion.
Yes, this here is a continuation of the work that the town has been progressing following several water main breaks and transmission main near Anchorage Road. And we're following a request for the qualified contractors project tendering in the next step. So we'll certainly provide some updates as they become available and continues with the monitoring the system.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
7B, 2023 street upgrading, paving and sidewalk tender. Be it so resolved that approval is given to cancel tender MI 4555 2023 street upgrading, paving sidewalks that close on May 25th, 2023, as tendering resulted in bids significantly higher than the project funding available. And further, be it so resolved that approval is given to call a retender of the 2023 street upgrading, paving and sidewalks with a reduced work scope that aligns with available funding. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion.
Yes, your mayor, the project tender closed last month and all bids were in excess of the available funds. With the increase in construction costs, it's unfortunate, but it's a reality we're in right now. We reviewed all the options and agreed that to cancel the original tender and change the project work scope to align with the available project funds. So it's unforeseen circumstances and expect that the paving and sidewalk work will be complete in 2023. We're certainly striving to get that.
Yeah, so we put out a list of streets that we wanted done, sidewalks and so forth, and we've only got so much money to spend. And unfortunately, in the economy, and no fault of the bidders, because it costs them are their field as well as we do. So they all came back more than we had. So we had to go back and cut back on some of the work that we wanted to do this year. It doesn't mean it's canceled. It just means it's pushed off to probably another year. But we are doing the sidewalk work, and we're doing, I guess, a few less streets to make it work, because, protecting the public purse and ensuring that we get what we can afford done and use the money to the best possible. So unfortunately, we're canceled the tender and start again, and hopefully we can get this work done now and get that work started as soon as we possibly can. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
All right, our departmental, be it so resolved that recommendation and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on June 5th be accepted as presented. You can certainly see we've had lots of topics we were discussing. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Morris, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Okay, thank you, Counselor Hardy. Recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee Chair, Counselor Shelley Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. 8A Community Park Paving Project. Be it so resolved that approval be given to proceed with paving the community park pathway at a cost of $122,124.06, HST included, by Grand Concourse Authority. Monies for this expense are available in the capital out of revenue account. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hart or Counselor Barrett, sorry. Any discussion further?
This project will allow the community park to be more accessible for all. A note that it will also assist with maintenance operation for the park. The total cost of the project is $128,000, which will be completed by Grand Course Authority. The town received the Building Age Friendly grant that will cover a portion of the cost, the amount of $18,136.70.
It's always nice to get free money to help with those projects.
Yeah.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay. 8B. Oh, right. SOA-23-05, supply and delivery of 50th anniversary promotional items. Be it so resolved that approval be given to award SOA-23-05, supply and delivery of the 50th anniversary promotional items to Island-wide Promotions. The cost of the initial purchase for sale items will be between $6,035.25 and $6,437 plus HST, dependent on artwork selected. Funds are available in the 50th anniversary budget. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion?
Nope.
I'm not even gonna get a T-shirt out of this, nothing?
Well, this is all part of the 50th anniversary celebrations, and the promotional items and accessories will be available through the online platform for all residents to buy.
Excellent,
Sorry.
excellent. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, 8C, limited call for proposals for exclusive snack vending contract. Be it so resolved that approval be given to proceed with a new contract with Avalon Vending for the provision for exclusive snack vending for the town of Conception Bay South facilities, Town Hall Recreation Complex, and the Conception Bay South Arena for the period of June 15th, 2023 to June 15th, 2026. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Hilliard, discussion?
This is the same company that currently holds the contract, so there should be no disruption in service.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, 8D, ratification request for proposals, Prime Consulting Services for wastewater treatment plant roof placement. Be it so resolved, approval be given to enter into Prime Consultant agreement with SNC Lavalin INC for water waste treatment plant roof replacement at approximate cost of $62,269.63, including HST. Funds are available for this project. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Hardy, discussion? And just to note, this wastewater roof comes under recreation because recreation controls facilities. And since most of the facilities are recreation facilities, all facilities come under recreation rather than divided up. So that's why it may seem a little out of place. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And now just the blanket statement. As you can see, there was a lot of things on our agenda at our last meeting. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of June 6, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Connors, discussion? All in favor?
Yep.
Contrary minded?
I just want to put one last dig in for the participation challenge, and that we want to get as many people to register as possible, because we don't want to lose this year. We want to stay in number one, and we want to be number one in both areas. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, we're number one right at this very moment. I'll stay there. We got 17 days left. Deputy Mayor Goss, a lot of work going on here tonight, so I'm assuming you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, okay. Recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services Committee of June 7th, 2023. First item is 9A accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $702,547.45 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Barrett, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Did you do that? It was on. 9B manual check register. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $462,864.56. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Butler, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the next item, 9C, direct payments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $414,314.89. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Tilly, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item is, hang on, open it up. Capital invoice approval, 9D. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $355,694.26 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder? Counselor Barrett, discussion?
These are some invoices for some ongoing work, gluing up some of the work from last year. There's invoice there for the library. This is coming to as the library, library's open. This is just last odds and ends, some engineering and whatnot. This capital invoice register is usually gets quite large as the season moves on. So these are just some small things that are winding up.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Next, item 9E is tax and other receivable adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Morris, discussion.
These are just some small adjustments that came recommended from staff on some business closures.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9F, Tax Recovery Plan 2023. Be it so resolved that the Tax Recovery Plan 2023 be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hilliard, discussion.
I just want to say the Tax Recovery Plan is an annual document that is provided to the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs as required under the Community Sustainability Partnership Accountability Measures and Exceptions. That's a mouthful. It outlines the town's goals for tax collection during the year and how it will work to achieve those goals. The town must comply with requirements of this partnership in order to receive its allocation under the provincial shared gas tax program.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9G, donation to 2023 Paddle in Paradise. Be it so resolved that approval be given to sponsor a town team in the 2023 Paddle in Paradise Festival by covering registration costs of $250. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion.
This is a registration. The town has been involved for a number of years with this festival. It's in support of the Avalon Dragons. They're a group of breast cancer survivors, and they have a fundraiser every year during this festival. And the town typically puts in a team. Last year, a number of us, it was my first time I got to paddle in a dragon boat. It was a great experience. Myself and Councillor Hardy and Councillor Moores and Councillor Tilley. And anyway, it's a combination of staff and councillors. So we had a great day. And so anyway, this fundraiser helps this group, the Avalon Dragons, to help breast cancer survivors, helping them to lead strong, healthy lives. It was a great day. So we're just putting forth registration for another team this year.
Yeah, it's a great event and a great cause and certainly great to be part of. And can you win? Like, is there like a trophy or anything like that?
We didn't get it apparently. I guess.
Okay, well, go get it this time. Bring it home.
But we did really well.
Everybody's safe.
All right, well,
We need a new boat. I think there was a hole in the boat, a lot of water.
yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, all in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9H, reallocation of funding. Be it so resolved that the town request approval from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure to reallocate unspent funds from the following completed projects to project 17-MYCW-22-00023, 2022 to 2023 street upgrading. The town agrees to pay the municipal share of excess funding in the amount of $101,777.26. As presented, so moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion.
There's some funds left over from 4 projects last year. There are different amounts from 2182.56 to $217,180.80 from the wastewater treatment plant study to the lift station upgrades. And so that it totals $327,204.74 that we're asking the Department of Transportation Infrastructure to be able to reallocate that to the said project there.
And we certainly don't want to give it back. So
We
we'll
don't want to give back
No.
any money. No,
find somewhere to spend it.
no.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And final, the department report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting as of June 7th, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. That's it for me.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So finance has spent all the money, so Councilor Hillier, planning has got to go get some more. Okay. Excellent. Recommendations of Economic Development and Tourism Chair, Councilor Paul Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have our blanket recommendation. So it's the recommendation of the Economic Development and Tourism.
Excuse me, your worship, I have a conflict in that blanket statement. An organization that I'm part of is referenced in one of the grant applications. I'll just step out.
So it's the recommendations of the Economic Development Tourism for the committee meeting held on June 6th. Before I get into the recommendations, just a couple of things I want to talk about. Our new and exciting food cycle pilot project. So building on the success of our backyard compost tumbler project, where we had pre-orders for 180 tumblers over the period that we advertised that. We are now exploring interest in another pilot project with the Food Cycle Science Corporation. So what we're doing now is we're giving residents the opportunity to be able to purchase a unit that you can place right on top of your counter. And this would take, I guess, organic wood food waste, which probably makes up 30% of your food that's thrown in the garbage, and is considered wet garbage, I guess, is what is referred to as what costs us the money in our waste disposal and garbage collection. And it turns it into soil within a short period of time, where you can use in your gardening or houseplants and stuff like that. So ultimately it reduces the amount of waste going to our landfills, the organic waste going to our landfills. So on this past Friday, we launched an expression of interest on our website to find out how many people would be interested in the pilot project. And tonight, as of today, we already have over 50 residents who are interested and expressed an interest in the program. So we know there's an interest in the program. We'll keep it up on our website for another while and hopefully find out how many more people are interested. There is a budgetary component on the town and part of the town. So we need to determine the level of interest and what involvement will be. So if anyone is interested, please go on our website, go on the town's website and have a look and put your name down to get a unit to compost organic material. The second thing I want to talk.
Just on that note, I guess I'd say Councilor Connors, I've been on council for probably 8 years. And I remember the first year we had trouble getting rid of 40 composters. And this year we had calls for 180 composters.
180.
Yeah, we had to do 2
200.
call outs because we need to get more composters, and anything we can do to reduce the weight of the garbage is the big thing, because that's what we pay. How much does it weigh? And that wet food stuff is really what does it.
I should probably mention, if anyone wants to see one of these units, I think the library has one over operational at the library.
They have one, it's not the same one that we saw in the presentation, but they do have one similar product. And this is I just want to say, this is a great option for someone. Backyard composting is not for everybody. Some people don't know how to do it. They don't want to learn about it, or they're afraid to do it. But this is a little unit that literally sits on your counter, and you can throw your daily waste in it. You can turn it on when you go to bed, and in the morning, it's all broken down into a dry, crumbly, organic material. And if you're not a gardener, you can throw it in your garbage container, and it's weightless. It's almost weightless, so it's really something. And this pilot project, there will be funding from different levels that will reduce the cost of these machines. And so we'll be more affordable for our residents. And we're just putting out for a pilot project to gauge the interest in the community. And if we have it, we'll certainly move forward. And I was in on the presentation. I've been watching these for a while, and I was really impressed with the one at the library. So I think we're going to have a great uptake on it.
And it's different than your countertop composter, because they're just a short-term sort of storage for stuff to put in a big composter. It's different than that altogether. And the process is different, and what you get at the end of the day is not compost. It's different. It's a dried out sort of material that's broken down. And so if you're looking for something to put in your composter, it's probably not the same thing that you're looking for, but this is something completely different. And like you said, for people that aren't into farming or aren't into gardening and all that much, it's an ideal way for them to contribute to cutting down on weight. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm glad that you had over 50 people reaching out already. So that's great.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get more, and but it's already a success so far, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is the snowbirds coming to CBS. So we're getting closer to the ultimate sky-high adventure, and as the snowbird festivals, and as we welcome them into our town, and to help us celebrate our 50th anniversary. So I just wanted to tell residents that all the information you need to know about snowbirds is on our website. There's information there about the parking and busing information on autograph signing, and opportunities to meet the pilots or meet the people that are involved, and all the information on the show itself. There will be also information on road closures that have to occur in Kelligrews on Friday and Saturday of that weekend, the 24th and 25th, 23rd, 24th and 25th. So please check out the website, conceptionbaysouth.ca. Keep in mind that the air show is scheduled for Saturday, June 24th, but they are actually going to arrive here in the city, or in Conception Bay South, at the airport on the 22nd. So you may get a glimpse of them flying over where they're going to put the show off, or they may be out doing some practice runs. So keep your eyes to have a look out, keep an eye out, as they say, for just in case they are out doing some practice. But also just keep your eye on the road too. If you're driving along, don't get distracted and end up causing an accident or something because you're watching planes. So just be careful. Also, we need everybody to pray to the weather gods to make sure that we have good weather. You turned me off.
I did that. I'm sorry. You go
We
ahead.
have to pray to the weather gods. So whatever you need to do to pray, make sure that we pray for the weather gods for that weekend.
It's going to be great, Paul, because I just looked up on the Weather Network. It says it's going to be 14 and sunny, and that's a St. John's forecast. So it'll be 22 and sunnier.
That's correct. So on that note, after everyone prays to the weather gods, the blanket recommendation is, be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting on June 6, 2023 be accepted as presented. List of discussion topics attached. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, carried. Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Hillier returns. Didn't know you'd be gone that long, I guess. Hey. Yeah, well. So at this point, we get to the part where other committee reports, and this is where I ask council, who has a report from outside committees that they're involved in, and Councillor Moores is champing at the bit, so you go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly, I had a downtown CBS meeting on June 5th. And I will say that our new chair Keith is very keen on getting things moving and doing things a little bit differently, which is great to see. So we've all broken up into different committees and people are working to do different things. And I know one thing is that they really want to get involved with more of the town events and have a downtown representation there. Of course, at the events that are in the downtown CBS and promote them on their social media, which is really good to see. They also are talking about wanting to get a sign where you enter the downtown CBS, a nice, more prominent one, permanent structure that will be there that'll attract people. So I think that's a good thing that they're working on. And also keep an eye on their social media because they will be looking for someone in marketing social media. They're putting a contract out soon. So keep an eye on that if you know anybody or if you have skills in that area, because that's a very important piece for the downtown CBS. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Anyone else have a report from other committees they're involved in? Okay, perfect. So that pretty well wraps us up for this evening. We're going to be back here. This is summer timing, so we'll be back here again on July the 11th at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall and live on the World Wide Web all over the place. So I will call for a motion for adjournment. Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? All right, adjourned. Thank you very much. Good evening.